All right. All right, my dears, we're going to do kind of a steady flow today, some focus on the upper back and the shoulders and the neck. Yeah, some stretching there for all my friends that are taking a break here from computer-like jobs and have tension in the shoulders and neck. We might even start as we're seated here, just doing a few little neck rolls and noticing how it feels. Ooh, maybe we allow our right ear to come to our right shoulder. We take our right hand to the left side of the head. Our left fingertips might reach down by the left hip. And you might very gently nod like no. Ooh, maybe as you look up, you might feel something there in kind of the front of the neck. Whew, I know I do. And then maybe the chin comes to the chest, even as the right ear is still toward the right shoulder, and our grip goes a little more to the back of the head, stretching the back of the neck. Whew, and then we'll release that side and just come back to center for a moment and notice what you feel. And then that left ear to left shoulder. We'll reach the right fingertips down and gently begin to nod like no or yes. And finding a spot there, maybe looking slightly up, you might feel a little bit more of the front of the right side of the neck. Couple deep breaths here as you reach the right fingertips away. And then perhaps chin more toward the chest as the left ear is toward the left shoulder. Grip is more toward the back of the head, and we'll breathe there, noticing the back, right side of the neck. And then slowly release and bring your head back to center and just notice what you feel. You might look left, you might look right. And then do a few little neck circles again. Sometimes it feels good to go all the way around. Other times it's not as good to go all the way around. You just might go chin to chest, right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. If you've gone in one direction, we'll change the direction now. And then eventually just coming to a seat with your head tall. Let's reach behind our back, and our right hand grabs the left wrist, forearm, or maybe the left elbow, depending on what you can reach here. You might feel a stretch in the front of the left shoulder. If it feels safe enough in the space that you're in right now to close your eyes, you might close your eyes and draw your awareness inward, perhaps on the breath. We'll maybe inhale to the count of 4 or 5 and exhale that same count of 4 or 5. A way of centering ourselves, as well as stretching the shoulders. Now let's have that left hand grab the right wrist, forearm, or even elbow. You might feel the stretch in the front of that right shoulder. Inhale 4 or 5. Exhale 4 or 5. And then let's release our hands, rest them on our lap for a moment, and just notice what you feel. For me, I feel like my shoulders are back just a little bit and down just a little bit. Notice if that's true for you. And then we'll inhale and reach our arms out and up. Exhale, side bend to the left. As you side bend to the left, you might grab hold of your head with that right hand. so that you're gazing up, but you have the support of your hand. And then bend this left elbow and straighten the arm a few times to see what feels useful to stretch that right side waist. I even feel my low back a bit here, all the way up into the right arm. Deep breath in. Exhale, maybe even through the mouth. And we'll come slowly back up on our next inhale. And then side bend to the right. You might grab hold of your head with the left hand, gazing up a little, bending that right elbow and straightening it, kind of finding where feels useful, breathing into the whole left side. And next inhale, come on back up and palms pass through the heart. We'll shift onto hands and knees. If you are following me along on Spotify, we can pull up the playlist here. Let's do The Power is Here Now. The Power is Here Now. And we'll push play in 3, 2, 1, push play. And then on hands and knees, we'll inhale into cow and exhale into cat. Staying for an inhale in cat and exhaling back to cow. Couple more times. And then the next time we're on hands and knees flat back, let's shift onto the right hand, right knee. Reach our left arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, reach under your ribs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, lift that arm, and then extend that left arm alongside the ear. And really root through that left pinky toe edge side of the foot, and you should feel your whole left side open. Couple more breaths here. And then circle sweep that hand down to hands and knees. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Stay for an inhale in cat. Exhale back to cow. And then from hands and knees onto the left hand, left knee. Right arm reaches up. Inhale here. Right arm reaches under the ribs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, reach the arm up. And then reach that right arm alongside your ear and really root through the pinky toe edge side of that right foot, stretching the whole right side body. Deep breath in. Circle sweep that hand back to hands and knees, toes tuck under. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Here you might pedal, you might sway. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears, hugging the triceps in, rooting down through those pointer finger knuckles in particular, lifting through the sitting bones. And then we'll look forward and walk or hop lightly to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Mountain pose, arms at your sides, taking a few breaths here. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your right toes to the back of the mat. Dip your hips, lift your heart. Framing that front foot, your hands could be on blocks or the floor. Inhale here. Straighten that left leg. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Twice more. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. One more time. Breathe in. Straighten the leg. And breathe in. Bend the knee. Make your way to the long edge of the mat. Blocks could come with you. Nice wide stance here. Your heels might be slightly wider than your toes. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Deep breath in. Long breath out. 2 more breaths. And then inhale, halfway lift. Spin to face the back of the mat, framing that right foot. Dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Breathe in. Straighten the leg. Breathe in. Bend the knee. One more time. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten. Stay for your inhale. Bend the knee and come to plank pose. Knees might come down. Shift your weight forward. Lower halfway to the earth. Chaturanga. Cobra pose. Inhale. Down dog. Exhale. Left leg lifts. Inhale. Draw the knee in toward your belly, chest or nose. Lift. Left knee toward left elbow. Lift. Left knee toward right elbow. Lift. Footsteps forward. Dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for your inhale. Bend the knee. Lift your left arm up to the sky. Deep breath in. Make your way to the long edge of the mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Deep breath in. Long breath out. 2 more breaths. Inhale, halfway lift. Spin to the right, facing forward. Bend the right knee, dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend the right knee. Right arm reaches up. Deep breath in. Frame the right foot, step back plank. Chaturanga. Maybe knees come down, shift forward, lower halfway. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Hold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Hold forward. Halfway lift. Step your left toes back, bring your left knee down, low lunge. Come up. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Lengthen your neck. Start to lean back into your hands. Send your hips forward, tuck your tail. Feel the bottoms of your shoulder blades coming in toward the body. Deep breath in. Wiggle those shoulders down. Long breath out. Inhale, arms come back to center. Keep your fingers interlaced. Stretch the heels of the hands up toward the heavens. Shoulders down, lean back. Send the hips forward. Tuck your tail under. And release your hands. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the back knee up, straighten the front leg, and flex the foot up toward the sky. Soften that right knee, spin to face the long edge of the mat, set your feet wide. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Next, inhale, halfway lift. Spin to the left, facing the back of the mat. Bring down that right knee, coming up, low lunge. Interlace the fingers behind the head. Lengthen your neck. Start to lean back, tuck the tail. Send the hips forward. Feel the bottoms of the shoulder blades come in. Feel the chest broaden. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And then extending the heels of the hands upward. Hands are still interlaced. Shoulders are down. Continue to lean back as you send the hips forward. As you tuck the tail under. Big breath in. Release the hands, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up, straighten the front leg, toes go up. And then soften that left knee, plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Right leg high. Draw the knee in toward your belly, chest or nose. Lift. Right knee toward right arm. Lift. Right knee toward left arm. Lift. Step the foot forward, crescent lunge, up you go. Squaring and shining the hips forward. Arms reach up, inhale. Warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Triangle pose. Bending that front knee, coming back through warrior two. Star, inhale. Goddess pose, bend your knees. Weight in your heels. Inhale, star. Warrior two toward the front. Straighten the left leg. Triangle pose. Warrior two. Pivot on your back toes. Crescent lunge. Inhale here. Frame the front foot, side plank on the right. Breathe in. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Arms up, inhale. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Arms lift. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Left knee lifts. Left leg flies back. Left leg lands back, crescent lunge. Open warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. This time, cartwheel the hands forward, side plank on the left. And down dog your way, maybe through chaturanga. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Arms reach up. Right knee lifts. Airplane. Crescent lunge, inhale. Warrior two, exhale. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Side plank on the right. Down dog your way. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Mountain pose. Arms reach up. Left knee lifts. Airplane. Open half moon. Warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Side plank on the left. Deep breath in. Down dog your way. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Arms reach up. Right knee lifts. Airplane. Half moon. Warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Side angle. Inhale, exalted. Side plank on the right. Down dog your way. 5 breaths. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Down dog your way. Right foot steps forward, back heel goes down, warrior 1. Reach behind your back, right hand grabs left wrist, forearm or elbow. Straighten the right leg. Pyramid pose. Squeeze your shoulder blades toward one another. Release your hands. Maybe you have blocks. Halfway lift, draw your right outer hip back. Reach your right hand up, revolve triangle. Frame your front foot. Maybe flex your front toes up. Bow toward your shin. You might have blocks. Place weight in that right foot. Lift your left leg up to hip height. Reach your right arm up, revolved half moon. Both feet to the earth, forward fold. Rise up. Palms pass through the heart, mountain pose. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Down dog your way. Left foot steps forward, back heel comes down, warrior 1. Reach behind your back. Left hand grabs that right wrist, forearm, or even elbow. Straighten your left leg, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pyramid, fold forward, draw your left outer hip back, and bow toward your shin. Release your hands. Maybe you have blocks. Lengthen your torso halfway. Draw your left outer hip back. Draw your belly in. Lift your left arm, revolve triangle. Frame your front foot. You might flex your toes up toward the sky. Bow towards your shin. Look forward, place weight in your left foot. Maybe you use blocks. Lift your right leg toward hip height. Lift your left arm up, revolved half moon. And forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Down dog your way. Now, shift forward plank. Lower onto your belly. Sphinx pose. So I'm going to go through some back strengtheners here. Push into your wrists and your palms while your shoulders and elbows line up. So unlike Cobra, the hands are quite far forward. Once you really push down into your hands and wrists, begin to draw your heart forward as if you're going to draw your elbows back toward your waist. Draw your belly in. Push and pull. Walk your feet wide and bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together up off the floor. Push and pull. You might stay exactly here, or some of you might lift your elbows. Push your feet against each other. Bring your shoulders down. Pull your heart forward. Draw your belly in. Bring your elbows back down. Release your feet. Sphinx pose. Bend your right knee. Reach back for your right foot with your right hand. Walk your knee in towards center. Draw your heel in toward the booty and then tuck your tail under. Make a pillow with your left hand. Continue to tuck your tail. Come on to your left side as you hold on to that right foot. Tuck your tail, send your hips forward. Feel what this does for your shoulders as well as your quad. Back onto your belly, still holding onto that foot. Kick the foot into the hand. See if you can come to your left forearm or even palm, half bow. And then release, back to Sphinx you go. A few breaths here, just notice. What do you feel on that right side? What do you notice? Bending your left knee. Reach back with your left hand for the foot. Walk the knee in, tuck your tail under, create a pillow with your right arm. Shift onto your right side, still holding that left foot. Tuck the tail, send the hips forward. Feel what's happening for your shoulders here. Come back onto your belly. Kick that left foot into the hand. You might come up onto your right palm or forearm, half bow, Ardha Dhanurasana. And then come down, release, back to Sphinx. Notice your back, lots of back strengtheners. Bend your right knee, grab hold of your foot, bend your left knee, grab hold of the foot maybe, or maybe if you don't reach, you could use a strap or a towel around your ankles. And kick your feet into the strap or your hands. Bow pose. When you're ready, release and come back to child's pose. When you're ready, my dears, if you have a strap, you'll have to get yourself out of it first. Meet in downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Bend your knee and open your hip. Inhale here. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Bring your right knee to the ground. Send your hips back as you hard flex this left foot at the ankle and lift the toes up. And then shift to the pinky toe edge side of that foot. At first, you might send your hips back. Shoo. And then you might send your hips forward and place that left hand on your left thigh. Or you might bend that right knee. Reach back with your left hand for your right foot. Breathing and feeling and noticing. When you're ready, see if you can keep your left leg where it is. Send your hips back again. Bend your elbows like you're going to bring your head toward the floor. Woo. And swing that sweet left leg around again for downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Bend your knee, open your hip. Big inhale. Step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Bring your left knee down. So send your hips back at first. Hard flex that right foot and shift to the pinky toe edge side. And see how it feels to send your hips back, which I think is harder, but you know, it's different for everybody. And then we'll send our hips forward, placing that right hand on the right thigh. Left arm could go to the block or the floor. You could bend your left knee and reach back with your right hand for your left foot. And then when you're ready, we're sending our hips back, trying to keep our leg moving out to the right, trying to see if we can maybe come onto forearms and bow the head down. Ooh-wee. When you're ready, bring that right leg back, downward facing dog. And then, my dears, the next place I'll invite you to is onto your back. So as we come onto our backs, allowing our knees to bend, feet to be flat, windshield wipering the legs slowly. Both knees fall over to the left. The feet are wide apart. You might stay just like this, or you might pick up your left foot and place it on your outer right knee. If you choose to do this, you might reach up overhead for opposite wrists or elbows, draw your belly in and draw that right knee toward the earth. And then as we come back to center, your left ankle might be on your right thigh. Lift the legs up for thread the needle, or pigeon on the back where you extend that right leg, cradling this left leg. And then coming into half happy baby on the left. Maybe you extend the right leg out. Maybe you flex through that right heel. Maybe the right arm goes up overhead. And let's release both of our feet back to the earth and windshield wiper the legs. Next time, both knees and feet are pretty far apart, maybe even as wide as your mat. Both knees fall over to the right. You might stay like that or pick your right foot up, place it on your outer right knee, maybe reaching above your head for opposite wrists or elbows, maybe drawing that left knee toward the earth, drawing the belly in to support the SI joints. And then when you're ready, coming back, you might have this figure four shape, which can turn into thread the needle or pigeon on your back, extending the left leg, cradling the right, whatever works for your body right now. And then opening the half happy baby on the right, you might flex your left heel, straightening the left leg straight-ish. You might reach your left arm up overhead. And let's release both feet back to the earth. Both arms up overhead, grabbing opposite elbows or wrists, soles of the feet together, knees open for Supta Baddha Konasana. And then let's interlace the fingers for Veera Mudra. So interlacing the fingers, pointer fingers point up and are together. And then right thumb is over left. Inhale here. Exhale, curl up, reach between your knees and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your feet. Pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Feet back down, still soles of the feet together. Knees open, grabbing opposite elbows or wrists. And then release your feet, heel, toe your feet together. Cross your right knee over your left knee as if you were sitting in kind of a dainty way. And then arms come out in a T shape. Both legs go to the left. So maybe you have a bolster, or maybe you wrap in eagle legs if that's available in your body. Otherwise, we're just kind of resting this cross legs down toward the left. Right shoulder doesn't have to stay on the floor. And then we'll come back to center, release that side. Left leg crosses over the right. So if you have eagle legs easily in your body, you could do that, or just keep the legs crossed and both legs come over to the right. And then my dears, as we undo this, we're going to come to Restorative Fish, which is one of my absolute favorite shoulder supports. So if you have a block, you can place it either horizontal or vertical under the shoulder blades. You could place another block or a pillow under your head. If you don't have blocks, you could use books or pillows. or anything that allows you to feel like the shoulders are supported so the front of the chest can open. This is kind of the anti-computer screen pose. So the shoulders are falling open and back, which is the opposite of what we do when we're on computers. And the knees can remain bent, or you can straighten your legs, whatever feels good in your body right now. But the idea is to trust the support and stay long enough that maybe the shoulders will really start to let go, which takes time, you know. We can just focus on our breath. And perhaps we even play with some pranayama that's said to relax and decompress and settle the nervous system, which is inhale to say 4, exhale to 8. Or if that feels too stressful, maybe inhale 2, exhale 4, or whatever number, but we're doubling the length of the exhale. And so my dears, I invite you to stay here for like another 20 breaths. Notice I just have my legs straight and I bent them. And that makes a difference for me in my low back. It's just more supportive, so I can really let the shoulders relax back and down. And then slowly transitioning to rolling off the blocks in this shape, and either shoulder stand if that's a pose that works for you and your body, or if you're like me, you might place one or some folks both of the blocks under the sacrum and bring the legs up to the sky for a restorative shoulder stand, the Prita Karani. When you're ready, making your way slowly for Savasana, corpse pose. Allowing yourself just to be held by the earth here as much as you can. Perhaps feeling a sense of gratitude for this sweet body, exactly as this sweet body is. Eventually making our way back to a seat. And bringing our hands to our heart in whatever position feels useful. My goodness, not hairdo, not some yoga hair I got there. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for making time for your sweet body. In the spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Maluhia, Irini, Shiakan, Jam, Pache, Pas. In the spirit of our collective freedom, truth, and ultimately liberation, we say Ashe, Amen, Amen. Blessed be, Kapu Aloha, In Lakach, Satnam, Namaste, Matakwiasin, Black Lives Matter.